Hello, I'm Mayor Stan Henry. Today I'm pleased to introduce Duncan Gordan, Chief Operating Officer, Sunniva, who is here to discuss an exciting $54 million high-tech cannabis center that will be built in Cathedral City at 69375 Ramon Road. This will be a world-class cannabis center using the latest technology for cultivation, security, and odor control. It also promises to generate over $5 million of tax revenue for the City of Cathedral City's public safety, roads, bridges, and parks. Let's begin today by discussing the project and the benefits that it has for the community. We're excited that Sunniva has chosen Cathedral City. Tell us about the state-of-the-art facility. What's the size, what's the material, and how's it going to be designed?
Sure, Stan. So Stan, it's a Dutch-style greenhouse, Venlo greenhouse, which is from the Venlo region in Holland. It's built of aluminum and glass, diffused glass structure. Significant in size. The first phase, it'll be two buildings. The first phase is 325,000 square feet, just over. Second phase is 163,000 square feet, so a total of just on 489,000 square feet of square footage.
When it comes to sustainability, the design of the building is superior. Tell us a little bit more about the methods that you're incorporating.
Sure. So two of the most significant things with the build of this type as opposed to an indoor facility, for example, it's obviously purpose-built, which gives us an advantage. Takes longer to put up, but gives us a significant strategic advantage in the long term. And really from two significant aspects. One is electricity consumption. It consumes arguably up to 90% less energy, less electricity than a typical indoor grow. And then water consumption, 100% recirculation of water. So two significant environmental advantages and also long-term economic advantages in terms of economic viability of the facility in the long term.
Sounds very exciting. It's very nice.
It is.
Construction will begin as early as this month. Tell us how long will it take to complete and how many construction workers do you think you'll have on the facility?
Sure. So Stan, the construction's actually pretty quick. The superstructure itself, which is the aluminum and glass structure, goes up in 2 months. Hard to believe, but it's all pre-manufactured in Holland, then shipped out here by container, and then installed. And then the rest of the structure will be finished in about 5 months. So a total build cycle of roughly 7 months if all goes according to plan. And we'll have anywhere from, at any time through the production cycle, anywhere from 50 to 75 construction workers on site at various different times.
So it's going to generate some
absolutely
jobs right up front just in the construction.
Absolutely. Yep.
You know, odor control is one of the many concerns that a lot of the nearby citizens and stuff have had. Tell us how you're going to prevent the release of the blooming cannabis odor.
Yeah, it's a good question, and obviously this has been a significant concern for us and for the residents all the way through the project. So we've done a lot in terms of making sure we're using the best technology available to control odor. We have significant odor control measures already in place, and as the technology improves, we'll continue to enhance the ability of odor control in our facility. But just at a high level, the first line of defense from odor control is we will exhaust all air through carbon filters. First off, 3 carbon filters, and we've allowed for extra capacity to be able to slot in additional carbon filters if need be in the future. And then our second line of defense is once the air's gone through the carbon filters, it'll pass through a high pressure mist system, which will apply a odor neutralizer as well and then exhaust to the atmosphere. The other key component is the entire facility will be under negative pressure, and what that means is when any external door opens to the external environment, you won't get odor escaping from the facility.
So it'll all draw air in and
correct.
Air
Exactly. So the only way that air will get out of the facility obviously is through the odor control mechanism that I've just run through.
Very good. You know, also along with the odor control is also security, and security is often mentioned as a concern. So what security measures can you talk to us about without giving away any secrets?
Sure. So again, another area of primary concern to the residents, and I think certainly this facility is going to dramatically enhance the security in the area. As you know, it's been an empty lot, I believe, for an extended period of time, with no security, and unfortunately, the opportunity for people to jump over the side fences and boundaries. So obviously, that will all stop once the facility's operate or up and running. One of the first things we will do is we will put up a 6-foot perimeter fence around the entire property or borderline. That's security measure number 1. We will also introduce 24-hour armed guards on the facility and also 24/7 monitoring of the facility as well. Additional security measures to give you an idea of the level of equipment in the facility: 325 cameras, 66 motion detectors at various different points along the boundary fence, and then 65 access points, just to give you a sort of sense of the level of security measures we're putting in. We're taking security extremely seriously.
Very good, very good. So it's not going to be a place that transients are going to be able to come and hang out like they've been able to lately and stuff like that?
No, absolutely not. And we want to make sure that the residents are safe in the environment, our neighbours, and treat them certainly with the respect that's due. And secondly is to make sure that our employees are safe and are working in a safe, comfortable environment.
It's my understanding that once both phases of the constructions are complete, you'll employ up to about 185 full-time workers. What will be the average salaries and benefits for these workers?
So correct, average salaries we estimate to be around about $22 an hour. Obviously we'll reevaluate that as market conditions change and adjust accordingly, but that's what we are budgeting for. And then obviously full benefits, medical, dental, etc., 401ks. So like any other corporate environment, we value our employees, and arguably from my perspective I would say the employees are the most valuable component of any business, and quite frankly at the end of the day we need to make sure the environment attracts people of caliber and people that will make a positive contribution to our company.
So these will be both line level employees and professional employees depending on the
Correct.
types of jobs that are available there.
Correct, Stan. And our skill level in terms of requirements coming in, we will offer extensive training and standard operating procedures will be in place. So it's not necessary that you have experience in the cultivation industry. To us, what's most important is the caliber of individual that we're looking for, to make sure that they have an alignment with our corporate values and core values inside of the organization, and we will provide the necessary training.
Very good. So it's currently, the area there has been a vacant lot. It's been a vacant lot for numerous years, as you mentioned earlier.
Correct.
And stuff.
I believe so.
You've talked with the neighbors and you've had conversations with the neighbors. What are you also going to do to be a good neighbor in that area?
So I think there's a number of things. One is ongoing dialogue with our neighbours and making sure we're respecting certain things, like for example during the construction process would be number one. Things like respecting the city ordinances around dust control, around hours of operation. It's obviously always tempting to try and accelerate a construction cycle and shorten that construction cycle, but I think it's very important that we respect that people are living within reasonable proximity, fairly close proximity to the site, so we need to make sure we respect those city ordinances, and we certainly will. Dust control is a factor as well. People are trying to play golf next door and get on with their daily lives, so we've got to make sure when winds do pick up in the area, as we know they do in this part of the desert, that we have the necessary dust control mechanisms in place, and we respect that. Other things ongoing, we have a retention pond at the back of the facility. We are talking to our neighbours about potentially converting that with city approval to potentially a future dog park, for example. So I think there's certainly things we can do on an ongoing basis to improve the facilities in the area and enhance the relationships with our neighbours, and make sure that we keep an ongoing open dialogue. I think to me that's most important. If you're communicating with your neighbours, you can get over any difficulties or any concerns that may arise.
And it's certainly going to enhance the streetscape and stuff for that area, but the building and the glass and all that will really help, and that'll also improve that neighborhood with some of the residential that's around that, to where it could help them not having to, when they come out, look at vacant lots.
Correct. Stan, I think we certainly are very proud of this building. We've put a lot of work into it. For example, it is fairly large in scope. We are conscious of that, and we've put a lot of effort into making sure that this building, one, reflects the surrounding areas and actually becomes a point of pride in the community, rather than an eyesore that nobody wants to really look at. So certainly we've done a lot of work with putting a lot of glass and putting up the facade to make it look like an upscale building that fits with the surroundings. Other small things we've done as well, we've made sure, for example, that the pathway continues on from the RV resort next door, so that people can move up and down that sidewalk if they want to, for example, without having to get off their carts. I believe some of the people use golf carts, for example, to ride through to the shopping centre. They will still be able to do that right across the front of our facility.
Very good. This is one of the largest economic development projects that Cathedral City has seen in recent history. And we're excited and we're fortunate that you've chosen Cathedral City to be the location here in the desert for us and for you. The benefits for the citizens, for the neighborhood, for the businesses are fantastic. We appreciate you coming to Cathedral City, helping us generate more tax revenue for our citizens, and to be able to offer more opportunities for our residents and employment and other benefits that will go along with that. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Stan.
Thank you very much.
We're glad to be here, Stan. We really are. I think this is a very exciting development for us as well, and we are really looking forward to making a positive contribution to the community at large.
Thank you.